happy pre-Pegasus Day up here in Maryland. And while we don't have Keith Bussel today, I've got the next best thing. I've got Tim Tulloch next to me. Tim, how's your week been so far?
Good. Good so far. Welcome to Today at the Races. And yeah, second best to Keith. I'll take that any day of the week. Keith is very, very, very good at what he does, but we're looking forward to a big weekend, including the Pegasus tomorrow down there at our sister track, Gulfstream Park.
It's nice and warm down there, and it's nice and crisp and cool up here. The track is looking pretty good right now. We've got a fast track today. 40 degrees, a little bit of wind going on, though, Tim.
A little bit of wind. This track's going to dry out now. It's listed as fast, and it is, but that dirt still has plenty of moisture on it. I just was out there just about after 10 o'clock. You picked it up with your hands, and you molded it together. It would stick.
Okay.
We're not going to be seeing any dust. Let's just put it that way. There's still plenty of moisture in that racetrack.
Looking good here in January up here in Maryland on this track today, and we're going to take a look at this first race, which does start the early pick 5, of course. Get your tickets in. You've got 54 minutes to do it. Get in on in there. Industry low 12% takeout. It starts with this maiden special weight, the 4 and 5 years old, 7 furlongs on the dirt, and we've got a video right away on the Hammy Smith Celtic cousin. Gets the blinkers on, and Hammy Smith's been doing okay lately with the blinkers on, Tim.
Well, this is interesting. We're going to see why the blinkers are going on right here. Here he is in the 4. He's down through the fence, and you watch him on the lower third here, and you're going to see his head up. He's really not terribly comfortable in there. His head keeps coming up. He's a little leery about being in there, but he's still willing. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm just not loving it. And he just kind of sits there for a little bit, head comes up again. Now he gets into some clean air here in a minute. And the minute he gets into some clean air, right about here, comes in between horses, down on the inside,
Yep.
He gets to running, and he gets to rolling. The blinker's going to help. Kicks out to the outside. He's very, very, very willing through the stretch. Puts a little green around the turn. There's no doubt about that, and you could see that. The blinker should move this one forward. Does not switch his lead in the lane, but this horse has a lot of room for improvement, and I think the blinkers will do it for him. Going 7/8 this afternoon. He's had a work since that last race. 7/8 a mile has been a very, very good distance for him.
I agree. I think that's going to be just fine with him, too. And I think they got the whole team got a good learning lesson from him as well. So maybe just tighten everything up. Maybe not keep him to the inside this time, and away they might go. The number 1 we both have underneath is Rapper Zapper for Jose Corrales, Horacio Caramanos. The barn paid out a $24.50 winner last Sunday. Let's see what they can do. They're not going to get this price on this kind of guy today. It's currently 2-1 right now.
2-1 early in the game here, but returning from a break, some steady works since December. He's turning back off a lifetime best, going 1:16, 7/8 of a mile today. But he's been running good figures. He's got a solid work tab for the return. Inside draw, not going to be an issue. He's going to get outrun the first part of it anyway.
So we both also include the number 6 Crossland and the number 2 Classic Legend. But race number 2, let's go ahead to race number 2 in this Claiming 5,000, which does kick off the early pick 4. And instead of Keith, we've got Tim today. Ooh, a single right away in race number 2.
I had 2 single. $10 ticket. Here we go. Race 2, single on my best bet. Miami, that's my best bet. Single. 2, Miss Casey. I go 3 wide in race 3. I use the 2, the 5, the 6, and 7, and then I single again in race 4 on the 5, Doppelganger for Brittany Russell, getting a huge class relief this afternoon off the layoff. And then race 5, I think is wide open. So here I go. 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. I'm looking for a price in race 3 and race 5, $10 ticket. Good luck if you play along.
There we go. Tim Tulloch giving us the early pick 4 ticket, and we'll have a middle pick 4 from Keith coming along the way. But right now, let's talk about your single on the start of your first leg of the early pick 4. Miss Casey just last time out, 15th of January, just through that opening 16th. But we get a look at the gate right now.
This was huge. Boom. She breaks like a quarter horse. That is something she had not been doing. 3 previous races to that, she had hesitated at the start. What does Mr. Ferrier, who I do believe is the leading trainer in the country as we speak by wins, what does he do? He brings his main go-to guy from Charlestown, Arnoldo Bocachica, in for that ride. Arnoldo's back here this afternoon. Yes, dropping in price, but this is why Anthony wins races. This is a 4 lifetime 5,000. This was a 3 lifetime 10,000. Taking advantage of one more lifetime condition. That's how you get the job done. It's still going to be about the break. Just because she did it once doesn't mean she's going to do it twice,
Well,
and she's doing it from the inside today.
I remember in the past when she was having gait issues, you always wanted to put her on top, but then you couldn't. But now that she gave you a little bit of faith that last time out, you're all in, and so am I for Miss Casey in that first leg of the early pick 4. You also go with the number 5 underneath Tim. Shiny Penny for Crystal Pickett, J-Ron Barbosa. This is another one that's going to be in the speed on the outside of Miss Casey today.
It hasn't been here at Laurel since this fall. But she's had some success here. She's got 2 wins and 6 starts. You go back to that race in October. That wasn't a bad effort. It was a beaten nickel race, so a little bit softer than this afternoon. But if she can come back one of those races, she certainly, you've got to use her up underneath.
You have to. And we also both include Utterly Enchanting for Amy Hall. Maybe coming from a bit, letting those 2 speed go ahead and coming from off the pace, maybe coming up with some of it in that first leg of the early pick 6. The second leg is race number 3 in this maiden claiming 20,000. Tim, you and I both land on the number 2, Mungo Magic, Brittany Russell, Javen Toledo. Why not? Easily to go with Pretzai, who was running here in Maryland, comes back with her first time starter.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's tough to pick against Brittany with a first time starter. Has been working okay, not brilliantly, but she's well entered, and she's getting Toledo. They're very, very tough together. The works aren't knockout works. They're maiden 20 works, and that's where she's involved.
This is where we are. And that's further along with it. Brittany Russell, 21% as of lately with these first start maiden claiming. 7 wins, 6 seconds, 6 thirds. She's consistent. It's all about how you place them, and that's something that Brittany certainly does do well. You also have the number 5 underneath, Best Choice Baby for John Walters. Gets the blinkers on without Degallo.
Yeah, this one's eligible to improve. Improved from his second start to his third start. This will be first time off the claim, as you mentioned. The blinkers go on with 2 very, very sharp works since that last race, including a sharp half from the gate on January 15th. Behind an X-Out winner and Stardust Ziggy.
Yes.
In his most recent race. So a little bit of a player. I mean, if Mungo Magic doesn't show up like we think Mungo Magic will as a first-time starter for Brittany Russell, this to me is the next best choice.
What I like that you picked up is that, and so this is something I normally pick up on, but the last 2 works, those nice works they were at Pimlico, but there were 16 horses working out of the gate in that half-mile distance on January 15th. Do you think that was with the blinkers on, and that's kind of the new version that we might be seeing?
I mean, you have to assume so.
Right.
I mean, you have to assume so. By rights, to get a blinker card, you've got to come out of the gate with the blinkers. Not always a published work. It'd just be one of those across the chutes, go 100 yards, 200 yards, and start to ease a horse up. Do want to point out the 6, Asmioki, a second-time starter for Timmy Keefe.
Yes.
This one didn't get away at all. In his debut. Gets the blinkers today. A couple works since then. If he gets away, it could change the whole scenario for this son of Shackelford.
I agree, and also the barn has been warming up a little bit with these second, third-time starters, and if you go back, Tim Keith, 3 for 25 lately in the second-time starters, but 6 seconds and 4 thirds. So the barn is getting more consistent with these second-time starters. I like that you have them underneath. You also include the number 7, Bo Ruff, for Robert Vugalek, William Humphrey. We're going to need to see some improvement, but with the drop, we're probably going to hopefully be getting that.
You're getting a drop from an outfit that is hit or miss, and you've got to be involved when they hit because they're always at a good price.
There you go. Tim Tollett goes 2, 5, 6, 7 there in race number 3. Race number 4 starts Keith's middle pick 4. How do we play? Let's take a look on how we play Keith's middle pick 4. Singles right away, of course. Why not? Brittany Russell with the doppelganger. Race number 5, Tim. He goes at 1, 2, 6, 8. I believe the number 6 is his value play in that race. Kate's Golden Dude. Race number 7, he goes 2 wide, 4 and the 7 Stimulus Maker, and Badger Tooth, why not? We both have those in our top selections as well. Race number 7, he goes 4, 6, 8. Of course, 8 being his top selection. No easy days that day, but race number 4, lost my track. Also starts the Rainbow Pick 6. We're going to run through my ticket very, very quickly. Just taking a look at that. My single is on the number 5, actually, the Cairo Kid. I could have gone, I could have singled on race number 4 as well. Why not? But just in case, you never know what's going to happen with these first off of the layoffs, so I'm just going to take a nice, easy approach, give Brittany a little bit of a break of the pressure of that. Race number 7, I go wide in that as well. While you have the number 4 on top, there's just a lot of nice horses in that race number 7, which is that maiden special weight. I feel like there's a lot to offer. You have the number 4 on top. I go with the Oscar Mancia runner. We're going to have a video of that one later on, but a $36 ticket to keep things humming right along. And it starts in this allowance for the 4-year-olds and up, going a mile and 16th on the dirt. And we've got a video, of course, on the aforementioned doppelganger for Brittany Russell. This is coming from the barn of Bob Baffert, and we're going to take a look at that last time out.
Yes, this is a firm grade 3 last June at Santa Anita, going a mile and a 16th. And he had just basically chased Hopper, your eventual winner, all the way around there. Those are 3 serious races. There's only a 4-horse field. Well, it was only a 3-horse field. There's a horse back there somewhere. There he is. But look, he hung in there well. No one was going to get to Hopper that particular afternoon. He ran a strong Bayer speed figure, 85. He broke his maiden. He ran in 6 consecutive stakes. This is the first time he's running in allowance condition since breaking his maiden. He gets that here this afternoon. The numbers say he's the class of the field.
Right.
He's certainly going to get class relief for sure.
He is, and then the works also help.
Good.
The works are good. Everything seems to like it's going to be humming right along. So let's just see. The only reason I threw in 2 other horses in on my pick 6 is just in case this horse gets a little bit tired at that last 16th and he just gets nosed. That's the off chance that I see going. But let's talk about your other horses. Romp. I did like this horse at first. I'm glad that you have this horse coming in off of a bit of a layoff, a 144-day layoff. But Carlos Mencia, a hot enough warmed up barn.
Yeah, a good race in September. It was on the grass. This horse has not run on the main track in over a year. Last time he ran on the main track was September of 2021. But go back and look at those races on the main track. They're all solid races. Other than got beat 3/4 a length to Dream Big Dreams. That's a Brittany Russell runner who was okay.
Yeah.
Ran a 79 by her speed figure. Races before at Gulfstream and Aqueduct. Strong races, 2 wins, a 72, a 75. If he can run back to those, certainly have to use them. If Doppelganger stubs a toe, doesn't show up, gets a little tired, this horse could be around to pick up the pieces for sure.
Let's talk about Tate.
Let's talk about Tate.
Let's talk about Tate.
Let's talk about that. His 2 tries at this level have been decent.
Right.
Other than 3 starts ago against much softer company, he ran a huge number, 85, won that easily. He's got to keep churning along. He's, unfortunately, for all these horses, they ran a doppelganger today. But he's been consistent, so you have to use him a little bit.
Have to use him. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop on Tate, but I will be very, very happy if this horse continues to run in that fashion. But as we talked about with Tate, he got the win, maybe got some confidence. That's going to help keep that good vibes going as well. Tim Tulloch, 5-3-6-7 in that allowance. I go 5-1-7-4. Race number 5 is a starter allowance. Let's take a look. We don't have this horse in our picks, and this is Keith Fustel's value play of the day. And we have a couple of other horses in this fit. Dial and Dixie back from January 13th, and let's take a look at that start.
Yeah, this was this race here, race 5. I think is a pretty salty race, but. Look, Dialing Dixie simply does not get away this particular afternoon. He's last right here. I use this horse on my early pick 4. I don't have him in my selections this afternoon, but I use him in my early pick 4 because of this. Look, he keeps on coming. He keeps on trying. He's trying to make a sustained run. We know it's hard for a horse to come up with a 3/8 of a mile sustained run.
Absolutely.
But he keeps chugging. And he keeps trying. He comes in the stretch 3-4 wide. His ears are back. He's meaning business. And he tries all the way down to the wire, as you're going to see. A better break this afternoon could change all of Dialing Dixie's fortunes. I could not leave him off my pick 5. And again, no one was going to get the great go-go that day.
No, absolutely not. So look at that. Just keeps trying. Just keeps going on with it. But you have the number 4 underneath, which is another one of – so we have Keith Fustel's value play, and then one of your value plays, Mojack Cat for Henry Walters gets Carlos Lopez.
Yeah, second off the claim for Mr. Walters this afternoon. Improved effort in that open nickel race in his most recent start. He appears to be getting better since the claim. Now, 4 back, he ran a nice race at Delaware Park, 78 by our speed figure, got the job done at this starter level. This time of year, they're probably pretty even. These races start to soften up during the winter a little bit. A couple maintenance works since. If he's going in the right direction, he can improve. he's my value play of the day.
What I also think is interesting is that on January 11th, he was entered in an allowance at Penn. That was a vet scratch, but opted to run in here today. So I like the confidence. And while it is going to Penn National, which is a bit of an easier track, it still was at the allowance level. And so that type of entry transfers really well into this starter allowance that we've got going 6 furlongs around the dirt. Tim, you also have the Cairo kid with Annette Eubanks, Angel Cruz, another one, just won that starter allowance. We're extending from the 5.5 to the 6 today. Why not?
Yeah, your top pick. Look,
Yes.
I like what this horse has been doing lately. He's coming off that big win, 76 Buyer speed figure that day, but he's shown the ability to lay off the pace a little bit. Now, back in the day, Katie McCarthy used to ride this horse, and she was able to get him to do it, to get him to lay off the pace and come with some finish. Over the last couple races that he's won, he's done that. His last race, 3 starts ago, laid off the pace and come with a nice run. And I like him running that way. Unfortunately, he's drawn the rail today. He's got speed right to his outside and pit stop man. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this afternoon.
On top of that as well, if you look at so William Humphrey didn't do anything wrong on this guy last time out, so they opt with Angel Cruz, but every time Angel Cruz has ridden this guy, he's always been rushed to the front. So it's going to be interesting how that ride is going to be for the Cairo kid, but we'll find out in race number 5. Tim Tulloch goes 4-1-2-6. I go 1-2-4-6. Pretty easy going. Don't forget the scratch. No scratch in that race. Sorry, but we'll get to some other races with some other scratches in the rest of the card as we head to a commercial right now.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back, and we head into the 6th event, a mile and 16th on the dirt for the Claiming 10,000, which have never won 3. It stacks up pretty competitively, Tim, but you and I both have the 4 in the mix. You have Stimulus Maker on top. This one, it stays in the barn with Hugh McMahon, gets J-Ron Barbosa. This horse was running pretty hefty, and so we get to this drop down here, and we also get the mile and 16th. I think he's going to appreciate the 2 turns today.
I think he appreciates the 2 turns. I think he appreciates not being chased. He was chased in his most recent start to get up there and be competitive, and he backed up out of it. His best races, you look down his form 2 starts ago, is where he's been allowed to just settle a little bit off the pace and come with a run, even on the grass. Same thing, go back farther. You'll see those races. I just feel like he was chased in his most recent start. And if J-Ron Barbosa just sits a little chilly early on, and he may have to, there's speed to the inside, and you're going to that turn, so you don't want to chase him on up there anyway. Plus, he's getting 5 to 9 pounds from the whole field. That can go a long way going a mile and 16.
Yeah, absolutely. We also include the number 7. You have him underneath. I have him on top. I take a stab at Badger Tooth for Robbie Bales. Gets Dennis Arujo today. That was a nice run that last time out. Wondering about the 2 turns with this guy. But although he did win,
he's a winner
he's a winner over 2 turns, so I'm not quite concerned about that.
Winner over course and distance right here last January. It was a year ago. But I agree with you. His last race was certainly a step in the right direction, and I used him also. So look, this race could go a couple, 3 different ways.
And speaking of that, let's just mention the number 2 really quick. Only Child, Mikey Gorham. That was another one that really kind of turned the tables as far as my viewpoint on him last time out.
Look, this horse has been holding good form since June. Just look up and down his form, but that race that he just won, going a mile and an eighth, that was a battle. That was They were head to head for a mile and an eighth. He was never more than a head in front in a big 12-horse field, and he managed to last and win by a nose. He's a battler. That was a really, really good race. He turns back a 16th of a mile this afternoon. He's drawn inside, going to have to use his speed, I would think.
All eyes are on the 2, 4, and 7 in that race, as Tim Tulloch and I both have them in our top 3 selections. I go with the 5 underneath. You go with the 3. Race number 7 is a maiden special weight. I'm really excited to see how this maiden special weight goes out. Let's talk about the 4 before we talk about the number 6. Quick wit from Mike Trombetta gets J-Ron Barbosa. That was a nice, and that's the only reason I have this horse underneath. He just kind of hung around there a little bit, but could improve. Could definitely improve this time out today.
Yeah, this might be the feature race of the day. I know we have a
I
two
agree.
other than, but this is a very, very salty maiden event this afternoon, and you could go 4 different ways for sure, no doubt about it. But I go with quick wit for Mike Trombetta, making his 3rd start, improved effort in his most recent start where he closed ground. He only gets beat a length for the whole thing. A work sense. 7-8 should work for this one for Michael Trombetta. I think he moves forward again, but again, look, your top pick I don't have because I didn't get to him, not because I don't like him.
No, that's exactly my point. I was I said to myself, I wish we could have 5 picks because I was fighting with who to put on my top 4. And with that, let's talk about the number 6. Good afternoon, Oscar, from the quarter pole onwards. A really nice battle that we saw from this Mancia trainee.
Well, look, he broke really well. Broke on top, and the Angel Cruz settled him back. Here he is in the white blinkers, turning for home, and he's giving chase to Landon Jack right there. No, yes. No, I'm looking wrong. A lot of sense. Backs up, a lot of sense. But here comes some closers. He looks like a winner here, but here comes closers inside and outside. This was his first time out. This was a big effort. He gets beat a half length for the whole thing while doing more work than the 3 horses that closed on him. So, yeah, it was hard for me to leave this horse off. A couple work since. So, yeah. Plenty of ways to go. I just liked a couple others a little bit better.
A scratch on the 15th of January for that maiden 45 runs back here for the maiden special weight, so I go, why not? You also include the number 5, 7-11. The other Carlos Mancia runner gets Angel Cruz. This one showed a nice effort last time out in January. Comes back with, I like the distance between races for this one.
Well, look, he comes in this race with the best Spire speed figure of anyone in the race. He runs behind Landon Jack in his last start. Landon Jack was very, very good that day. And remember, Landon Jack was coming on some tough races with Johnny Z's from Albany, Post Time, and some other horses like that. So he ran a really respectable race, dropping to that maiden 45. Landon Jack was dropping the maiden 45 also, but he was taking advantage of it, and he was running against some runners. So I'm going to give him, that's why I used him. I like the 5-1. You're getting Cruz again, and he ran really a professional race in his last start.
Let's talk about the 3 who's at 4-1. So Brittany Russell, first-time starter at 4-1. That tells you, as you said, Tim, how salty this field is. Gets Javian Toledo. Excuse me. Of course, first-time Lasix, first-time maiden special weight, which Brittany Russell is sitting at 23% with that.
Yeah, Toledo and Brittany, they had at about 30%. Again, it's a firster for Brittany Russell, and they're always very dangerous. Has been working well in the morning up there at Fair Hill, but Brittany being Brittany, she's not going to leave any stone unturned. Make sure this son of a unified got to work here at Laurel Park on January 18th, half mile in 49-4.
Tim Tollett goes 4.538, and I go 6.243. They're in that really competitive maiden special weight, and which we both think is going to be the feature, but the other feature perhaps is race number 8. This allowance optional claiming 40 going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 4 years old and up. Tim, you land on the number 4, Acadian Girl, which I love for Mikey Girellis, gets John Novello, and this filly is just on all cylinders.
4 in a row. She's been very, very good. She's coming off a little bit of a break, but Mikey Draus is good at that. She's stepping up to the 2 out of the van for the first time and turning back to 7/8 of a mile. Now, she's working well for a return, but keep in mind, her best number on a mile track, a mile or over track, is going 7/8 of a mile, and that happened this past July when she fired that 80. She would come back and run a big 83 at Timonium, going a mile and 16th, but I like her here this afternoon.
Let's see what she can do with that. You also include the number 5 right next to her. Stand By You for Todd Beatty. It's Vladimir Diaz today. Comes back second off of a layoff, but it wasn't a disrespectful run at all.
No, not in her most recent. In that 2 other than. It was her Laurel debut. She's going to get 7/8 of a mile this afternoon. She was closing, going 3/4 of a mile. She should be able to lay closer, and if she could come with a little bit of finish, It should be good enough. Look at that work, and I know Top 80, he lets them work. But
Yes.
look at that work, January 2nd up there at Penn, 59 and 4, 5/8 of a mile.
I also include the number 8 Starship Laban in my top selection. We're going to take a look at that race from April in Aqueduct here we are at the midturn, headed to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's going along pretty easily right now for all practical purposes, not really being asked that much, just kind of getting there to the top of the lane. She'll take the lead to the top of the stretch, and now she's going to get a little headed, and she tries to run with the eventual winner. But as you see, she doesn't change her lead. She hangs on there. She's gritty. She keeps hanging. She finally switches her lead there. She finds another gear. Not quite enough, but it was a good effort. Now, that race was from last April. Again, this is a filly. Jamie Ness claimed December of 2021. Just continued to get better. She has not run a bad race in the Jamie Ness barn. Her recent figures work here if she can run back to them, and she's working well right here at Laurel Park for her return.
I like that she's here at Laurel Park. That nice bullet work on January 22nd certainly perked my attention. So what I like is that this filly is pretty speedy, but she also has the ability to remain a little bit off the pace in professional fashion for Jamie Ness. Tim Tulloch goes 4.532. I go 3.425 there in our feature race of the day. But let's go ahead to our nightcap of the pre-Pegasus Day up here at MJC. In this maiden claiming 12.5 effort, going 1 mile and 16th on the dirt. Tim, you've got the number 7 Run Rocky Run for Jerry Robb, gets Xavier Perez, and also gets the outside post.
Yeah, it's the outside draw, 1 mile and a 16th. Second start for Jerry Robb, a very good 23%, stretching one out 25%. And I think the debut may be better than it appears, going 3/4 of a mile. Just kind of an even effort throughout. Got beat 6 lengths in the whole, for the whole thing. Breeding suggests this one wants to go long. And really, there's nobody that explodes off the page in this heat. I know we have a 9 to 5 shot on the morning line, but we're going to look at that race in a minute. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Run Rocky Run. 12 to 1 on the line. Never going to get it. But since both of you and I use them. Yeah, I like Run Rocky Run.
We also both include Foul Nation gets the blinkers on for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez again today, and is going to need him from that look at that first-time double turn effort last time out.
Yeah, first time going long, was lugging in the stretch. So there you go. Jamie puts the blinkers on. He's pretty good when he puts blinkers on. But look, you've got 3 horses, the 2, the 3, and the 4, all coming out of the same race, and it was a slow fest. It was a slow fest. 3/4, 116.
Right.
Mile 16th, 151. All you need is a horse that can run just a little bit faster, and it won't take much, and that could be my top pick, and you have in your exacta Run Rocky Run. But will blinkers help this horse? Yeah, no doubt about it.
And we're going to find out there in that 9th race, and we're going to head over to the lightning round to discuss a little bit more value, get into a little bit more value play and best bet from Tim Tulloch.
Yeah, my best bet is come in race number 2. This is Miss Casey. It's all about the break. We talked about it earlier. Anthony Ferrer is on a roll. I meant to check the stats before I came up, but I do believe he's the leading trainer in the country as we speak by wins. He was as of last Sunday, but haven't checked since then. So that's my best bet, Miss Casey. One of my 2 value plays, the first one comes in race number 5. That's Mojack Cat, second off the claim for Henry Walters. Looks like he is on the improve. I think we'll get a good price there. And we just talked about my second price play of the day, and that's in the final race of the day, Run Rocky Run in race number 9. So there you have it, my best bet, and a couple price plays for this afternoon.
Speaking of talking about the Anthony Ferrier standings, who has 30 wins in 2023 so far, which is pretty good. Let's talk about our Maryland standings. Of course, J-Ron Barbosa leading the charge, 17 wins. Javian Toledo just 5 behind him. It would be a nice hot contest, but Barbosa's just taking it. Yeah,
Barbosa's getting a lot of mounts. He's riding very, very well. But, hey, listen, you've got Javian Toledo on your heels. You better keep winning because
he's sneaky.
And he gets the quality of the mounts here in Maryland. So Sometimes quality outweighs quantity, but we'll see how it all goes.
There we go. Let's go ahead to the trainers and see how that looks here today. Of course, Brittany Russell leading by 10. Damon DeLodovico not far behind, but Brittany's got some nice stock leading into today and the whole weekend. So let's see how that plays out this weekend.
Yeah, that's a pretty salty top 5. Russell,
Right.
DeLodovico, Rob, Ness, and Ferrier. Brittany and DeLodovico and Damon DeLodovico, they're very, very good right now. They're very very hot. The horses are running well. Those are two conditioners who seem to be doing it better than just anybody else in Maryland right now. But look, you got Rob on your heels. You got Ness. You got Ferrier. It's not going to be an easy race, but we'll see how that all shakes out as the winter progresses.
We also, of course, we mentioned Pegasus is tomorrow, and we're going to be open early. We've got a watch party going on. Gates open early at 10:30 a.m. You and I are going to be on at 11 o'clock to start the morning show, and we do have an early post time of noon right now in 24 hours. Right now, that is when our Pegasus Day starts up here in Maryland.
Yeah, the sports bar will be rocking tomorrow. A 10-race card for us, as you mentioned, 12 o'clock post tomorrow, and then the Pegasus, but also the undercard races on the Pegasus are big races also. So we'll look at those races tomorrow because I haven't taken a real close look at them. I got to be honest with you. So when you said we're going to look at those races, I was like, no, let's not do that. Let's do it tomorrow morning, and we'll give our insight on those big races at Gulfstream Park.
Get ready, go visit Sam there in the sports book. Gates open for us at 10:30, and we're going to check in with Dave Rodman for some changes and scratches.